Today, I'm joined by Debbie Harris. Debbie's the founder of Autumna, the UK's largest directory of latter life care providers, helping families across the country find the right care home or retirement living option. So, welcome, Debbie.
Thank you very much, Simon. Lovely to be here.
No, thank you for joining us. So, look, Debbie, for anyone who doesn't know Autumna, how would you describe what you do and who you do it for?
Okay, so one of the easiest ways to describe what we do is to reference a very well-known website called Rightmove. Rightmove helps you find houses.
Yeah.
Autumna helps you find care, social care, adult social care. So we are Rightmove for the adult social care sector, and that is the main thing that we do, although things are changing hugely at the moment in social care, and Andy Burnham, of course, has just added to the change, which is very exciting. Yeah,
absolutely. Brilliant. Okay, look, thank you for that. We'll delve into those changes and that sort of thing in a bit, but firstly, let's take a step back to the beginning. So as I understand it, Autumna grew out of your own experience trying to find care for, was it your Auntie Margaret back in 2006? And then your consultancy, Chosen with Care. So what was the moment that you knew this needed to become a bigger national service that, that people needed?
Yeah, it was 8 years ago, actually. So you're right. I started off with Auntie Margaret. I had to find a care home for Auntie Margaret. I was like thousands and thousands of families across the country, and I had never been in a care home. I didn't know what a care home did. I didn't know how much it cost. I didn't know what good looked like. So anyway, I've managed to find Auntie Margaret a care home, and more by luck than judgment, it was a good one, and she lived out the rest of her years in it, which is great. But then I thought at the end of that, I can't be the only person that has struggled with this. So I set up a little website called Best Care Home, and that was the beginning of the journey. I then sold that to another large organisation because I set up some reviews for care homes during it. So I've been an innovator in this sector for 20 years, and then started working on Chosen with Care, which was where me and a small team would be helping families who were really struggling to find the right care. So it wasn't just a case of going onto a Rightmove type product. It was something where, you'd got complex care needs or something and you really needed the support. But we really, really struggled to find the information we needed online. So 8 years ago, I thought, well, if nobody else is doing it, I will do it. And that is how we built Autumna. And I used thousands and thousands of case studies where families had said to us, I need to find this. And it had been a manual process for us at the time. And I made sure that this was built into the website. So as an example, there are 240 search filters for care homes. Wow. You name it what you're looking for and we can find it. It's really quite useful. It's very useful.
Yeah, like I can get that. I've had experience with my father-in-law and finding care.
Sorry.
So yeah, I can relate to how sort of valuable that is. So, and actually, look, just going a little bit further back then, Debbie, had you always wanted to be a business owner? Was that something you wanted to do, or did it just sort of happen through this experience?
I hadn't worked since I was 23. So I'd had 20 years plus out of business. So no, I literally fell into it. I thought, I think there is something I can add here. My kids had gone off to uni. I thought there's something I can add here, and it just grew, and it's grown from a consumer need. Everything we do starts from what does that family need to make an informed choice about their care, and that's where we start. And we don't charge families anything. So it's an entirely free service for families. We run a 7-day-a-week advice line. We have the information on the database, on the directory. We've launched something else as well to support families because the CQC isn't inspecting care homes. So we've done a rating system. Everything starts with what does a family need to make the right decision.
And I think that's a key thing to highlight with any business, isn't it? That if you, the key thing is to focus on a problem that somebody, some people in the society have got, and then identify, right, okay, how can we help solve that problem? And that's the key. That's the key importance thing in business. Yeah. Like, what's the problem? Like, how can we solve it? And yours happens to be sort of healthcare. And look, actually going back to what you've said there, you've built Autumna around that strict no referral fee. So like flat subscription model. And that's in a sector where, as I understand it, plenty of comparison sites do pay to rank money, etc. So
it's not right.
No, So what has that decision?
Yeah.
Because it's something that's valuable to you, but what does that decision cost you, and what has it earned you?
It's earned us trust.
Yeah.
And I think there is nothing more valuable than being a trusted resource. So IFAs, solicitors, accountants, charities refer to us because they can trust that we will look after their clients, their families. I think I've just always fundamentally disagreed with referral fees in social care because, and some of them are very, very large. I mean, a care home resident will spend £100,000 a year. A referral fee at 5,000 or 10,000 is worthwhile for the care provider. But by the same point, the person who is referring and getting that referral fee is really highly motivated to send that family to that care home when the one down the road where they wouldn't get a referral fee might be the better care home. I'd rather send them to the one down the road.
Yeah.
Best care, the right care home for the family, for the individual. Yeah, you can't do it motivated by money. You just can't. I don't think.
And I love what you sort of said there, Debbie, right at the beginning, is when I sort of said, what does it cost you and what does it earn you? And you said it's earned trust. And that trust is so valuable and important. For anybody that we do business with, the key factors are we've got to know them, we've got to like them, and we've got to trust them. So that trust is a really valuable thing. So, and you mentioned it just now, but you've just launched the live rating service where visitors rate care homes on the way out. What's the early feedback telling you, and how is that changing the way families use the site?
Okay, so it's really interesting. It's more than just live feedback, honestly. If I'll be honest with you, Simon, you come up with these brilliant ideas, and if you'd had any idea how difficult they were going to be, you might not have started them. But this one I'm exceptionally proud of, and recognise the enormity of what we're trying to do. So during COVID, the CQC, which is the regulatory body for adult social care, excuse me. Sorry, Simon, I've got builders in and the dust is terrible.
Oh, no, that's okay. No problem at all.
So the CQC during COVID didn't inspect care homes.
Right.
And they really, really struggled in the years afterwards to get their inspections back to a normal rating. So the average time that somebody that the CQC goes in to inspect a care home is every, wait for this, 4.5 years.
Wow.
4.5 years. Yeah. So I felt, looking at it from the family's perspective again, if that CQC report says good, but it's on average 4.5 years old, how accurate is it?
Yeah.
Well, Wes Streeting said last year it's not worth the paper it's written on. I mean, that was
No,
Wes
a lot
Streeting.
can change
Yeah,
in 4.5
believe
years.
me,
Yeah,
a lot can change in 4.5 months.
yeah,
You
true. Yeah,
know? So I thought, how do we put together something that supports the care seekers so they have, well, frankly, I went for it. I said real-time data on the quality of that care home. Real-time data. I mean, that's what you want.
yeah,
And how can we do it in such a way that supports the care provider to demonstrate the quality of their care? Because if you're a care seeker and you're looking for care and the CQC is 4 years old, that's one thing. But the care provider might have done brilliant things and they're waiting for the CQC to come in as well
yeah.
to so that they can get an improved score. You
Great
know,
point.
so both sides were really struggling with the delay, and I don't see the sector, I'm not alone, I don't think the sector sees any change anytime soon. So I thought, right, what can we do? So I thought I got together a group of stakeholders, significant stakeholders across the sector. So investors, insurance, NHS, care providers, the whole thing. And I got everybody together and I said, okay, guys, what do we need to build that gives us this real-time quality rating?
Yeah,
And we identified 65 data points that
yeah,
we could use for version 1. We pulled them all together and we gave the care home a score out of 10.
yeah,
Now, currently, only a third of those are APIs, so automatically fed via external systems. The
yeah.
goal is that 100% are externally fed by
Great. Yeah,
ratings, by external suppliers. And then we will have an absolutely crystal clear, unambiguous rating that will enable families and care providers to work towards. And it's, you know, the whole thing is about, if you know, if you do this a little bit better, your score goes up a little bit. All
yeah,
the time we're improving the quality of care.
yeah,
We are encouraging care providers to get better and better. It's I love it, but good
yeah.
Lord,
I think
it's a big one.
absolutely,
Mm.
and again, that highlights, exactly what we sort of said earlier. There is identify the problem, and then okay, how can we find the solution to that? The
Exactly
problem,
right.
yeah, the problem being that care providers and people looking for care couldn't get a reasonable view on
No,
that care home and
it's
what it provided.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
It,
so
it's frightening, but it's the same with schools.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Exactly the same with schools.
yeah,
But yeah, but yeah, it's just such an important time in somebody's life. You know, the
yeah,
last few years of their life, you want it to be good and comfortable and fun and happy and all the rest of it. Mm.
yeah. I agree. So okay. So then, if you could wave a magic wand and solve one challenge in your business right now, what would that be?
In my business right now,
Yeah.
I'd well, I would probably say more a larger team. We're 25, 26 at the moment, and
Right.
we have such big ambitions, and
Brilliant.
we are working towards them.
Yeah.
Um, I would probably say more support in the teams, bigger teams. At the moment, everybody is doing such a brilliant job, you know, and we've been live for 7 years, you know, so we're relatively new, and we have just developed so much. We have been so innovative,
Yeah.
that everybody's sort of not pulling their hair out, that's the wrong thing. We could all do
No.
with a bit of support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's working
So
really
that
well.
would be the thing. More people, please.
More people. Okay. Okay. Well, and then okay. Let's turn that around. So if we were having this conversation in 3 years from now,
Mm.
um, what would have had to have happened in your business for you to say we've achieved what we set out to do?
Okay, well, I actually think we're well on track to do this.
Brilliant.
So OpenScore used by every care provider in the UK.
Yeah.
We're already nearly halfway there.
Oh, wow.
And that's for care homes. We want to roll this out for home care as well, which is a whole new start again thing. It's, you know, you can't just cookie cutter it for care homes to home care. It's totally different data points. So
Yeah.
it's a huge job again. But that's the goal. It's something the sector absolutely needs. It's something families absolutely need. And it will improve the quality of care for the UK. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so there you go.
Love
That's
that.
it.
Love
Every
that.
care provider.
Love that aspiration. And what would you say your biggest learning has been since you've been a business owner?
Tech. Yeah. I had no technical knowledge when I started. When I started 20 years ago, I'd never sent an email. Well, you know, you didn't have computers at home at the
Absolutely.
time. So things have moved on a bit. So yeah, my biggest challenge has been my lack of technical ability, but by the same token, it's also my biggest gift,
Yeah.
because I'm looking at it how most people will look at any solutions we develop. You know, if I look at it and go, what do I do?
Yeah.
Chances are 99% of the demographic, which is my demographic and the demographic looking for care, is going to say the same thing.
Like that. So yeah, just technology, but also what you're able to do there is look at things from your consumer's point of view.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a key thing to highlight as well about businesses, particularly in today's environment where we've got AI and all of these sort of things. It's not just focusing on how can we make our business work quicker and cheaper and faster and all those sort of things. It's about how can we make the customer experience better.
Absolutely.
By using technology, because sometimes
Yeah.
and it surprises me, sometimes businesses forget about the end user. It's right, okay, how can we make things better internally, but
Yeah.
forget about the end
No.
user experience? I
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
we
Yeah.
start from that. That
Yeah.
absolutely is our starting point. And you know, it's interesting because there's a couple of suppliers now in the sector, and they're using AI to answer calls and stuff like that. And I believe me, we use AI. I understand the benefits.
Yeah.
But I think when you are talking to a daughter about her mum,
Yeah.
and she is emotional and she's feeling guilty and she needs some support, a bot is not going to cut the mustard, in my view. I think you need somebody with a pulse. Right?
And I think this is the key thing. And I mean, we could probably talk for ages about AI, but it's therefore then going, okay, so where could we use AI elsewhere in the business,
Yeah.
so that we can actually then invest more time in speaking to people, because that's the really valuable bit. So yeah, what you've sort of said there, I think is great.
Yeah.
Okay, right, where do we use AI elsewhere in the business
Yeah.
so that we can then
Processes, isn't it?
invest time on the important stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, it's processes. It's
Yeah.
processes and admin and stuff like that, but it's not interfacing with the family, in my mind.
And what would you say to anyone who's thinking of scaling a business at the moment? What advice would you give them based on your sort of experience?
Okay, so I think business is going to change very significantly. I think AI, and I don't think anybody knows how it's going to change, but AI is changing it. And I think any online business needs to be very carefully considered, because it is quite likely AI will absorb anything that you're trying to do. So we know that website traffic has significantly reduced across practically every sector. So I think it is. I think if you're setting up a business, if I was setting up a business now, I would be doing something where you needed people's physical presence.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was talking to somebody about it the other night, and they said, well, we're always going to need electricians and plumbers and gardeners and you know, and you're right, and carers. You know, I know you can do the robot caring to a degree, but you know, you can use, and I know that the NHS is starting to use AI programs to analyze scans and things like that, which is great, but you still need somebody to walk the person. You know, there's still a human element involved.
There is. Yeah,
So
great
human
advice.
element, yeah.
Great advice. And okay, well, look, Debbie, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and sharing more about your business, but also your journey as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Simon.